Okay, I'm back here, if you will, with part two of what Penders revealing, well, basically what Ken Penders has revealed on his message board of what would happen had he stayed on the book. Now, I just ended with 160, talking about what would have happened in 166 had Ken stayed on. Now, Ken basically says that in 166, Sonic would have been racked with grief, feeling responsible for Snively's death, to the point that it drives everyone that much harder, like I said at the end of part one, in preparing for the next mission. But as that mission unfolds, everyone becomes uneasy at the possibility dawns that Sonic could cross a line he never did before. But for the freedom fighters, this moral conjuring even more difficult, or basically becomes more difficult, when it's discovered the enemy's latest plan could result in the extinction of every life form on the planet. Now, 167, called New World Order, this is, again, if Ken Penders would have stayed on, Sonic is finally informed of his duties of his new rank, Gentleman at Arms. That's right, in 167, Sonic would have been given a new rank, Gentleman at Arms. His first task as Gentleman at Arms is to accompany Princess Sally to Station Square as she sets up Nodhole's first embassy. In a foreign land. Naturally, there's some trouble before the group departs, including Sally's displeasure with Sonic's new rank. And why does Sally have displeasure? Well, let me tell you. Basically, his new rank, according to Ken Penders, means he can overrule her when it comes to security. So basically, if she says, this is what we need for security, Sonic could say, no, this is what we need, and we're going to go this way. Now, not only does this overrule her, but also Antron's duties as head of the Royal Guard conflict with his proposal to Bunny. So basically, Antron's duties of, being like the leader of the Royal Guard are conflicting with him trying to pop the question. And that's in 167. Now, in 168, which is called Our Hitchhog in Station Square, it said, basically Ken says here, now that Princess Sally, Sonic, Tails, and Rhoda have arrived in Station Square for the duration, Sonic finds getting around town is more awkward than he likes, thanks to evil Sonic making the scene. But if Sonic can't provoke his doppelganger into a fight one way, perhaps scoring with Rouge might do the trick. Now, if only Sally doesn't get into the act. Now, again, just like I read about with Last Man Standing, this would have been a basically a one-issue, 16-page story, or two 11 or 16-page stories if spread over 2 issues. So that basically could have been 168 and 169, but that all depends. That would have all depended had Ken stayed on as the writer. And then finally, the other story that Ken had outlined and ready was A Dish Best Served Cold, which would have been Sonic 169 and 170, basically a two-parter. And basically, in this two-parter, Knuckles and the Chaotix show up at Station Square, mean and spoiling for a fight with the group that attempted to invade Angel Island. Unfortunately, with the new alliance pact in place between Nodhole and Station Square, that puts Sonic on a collision course with an embattled Echidna. So, I guess Knuckles and the Chaotix are going would have gone to Station Square to, I guess, fight evil Sonic and Rouge for invading Angel Island. I don't know. Now, according to Ken, the idea was to tease, the idea throughout all this as well was to tease whether or not Bunny would have acted on the premise that she would have accepted Antoine's proposal, basically, on the premise that she wasn't sure her and Antoine's, basically, Ian saying that the idea throughout a lot of the stories was to tease whether or not Bunny would accept the proposal from Antoine, because she wasn't sure her and Antoine could lead a normal life due to her bionic parts. So yeah, basically her bionic parts, which she has like right here, she would have been looking at them wondering, could I lead a normal life with Antoine as his wife with these? Could I do that? That would have been her big question. Now, he says, eventually, events in 175 would have resulted in her saying yes to the engagement, leading to a spectacular wedding in issue 200. So basically, 175, which was the destruction of Novel, if you will, would have been the proposal of being accepted by Bunny from Antoine, instead of being like what Ian had, 173. And the wedding wouldn't have happened the next issue. No, the wedding would have happened 15 issues later. That's right. Ken was still working on the book. Instead of, okay, proposal accepted at the beginning of 173, wedding takes place in 174. No, the proposal would have been accepted in 175. Basically, according to Ken's plan, instead of 173, where the proposal was accepted as Ian wrote it, and the wedding taking place in 174 as Ian wrote it, if Ken had continued working on it, basically the wedding would have taken place in issue 200. That's right. Instead of them beating Robotnik again and celebrating and basically feeling, hey, we beat the Eggman Empire, we instead would have had a spectacular wedding. And this obviously goes by the fact that Ken Penders is a true comic book writer, because how many times can you not have an anniversary issue, especially your 200th issue, without it being something like a wedding issue? I mean, come on. Now, he said along the way as well, they would have explored the Sonic and Sally relationship in greater depth, as it would have been steering to get those two together after several trials and tribulations in which neither was sure why they themselves or the other really wanted. So basically, he's saying that they would have finally gotten them together after each of them had gone through so many trials and tribulations in which neither was sure, why do I really want this, or why do I really want that? All I want to do is have a normal life and be with the person I love. That's basically what it sounds like to me. Now, he does say that when he assumed writing Sonic as the main feature in 145, he made it clear that he was aiming to correct the fiasco that Carl Bowlers fostered upon fandom with the infamous slap. Both Mike Puritto and himself were determined to correct what many perceived at the time as the worst moment in the book's history. However, this is according to Ken, neither of them saw that getting corrected over the course of an issue or two or three. Rather, it was decided that Sonic would play the field for a while, allowing him to discover exactly why Sally was always the girl for him. Excuse me for a second. And I'll be back with part 3.